In chapter 15 of Emma, after tea, Mr. Elton continues to annoy Emma with his solicitous affection. Emma finally notices that he is exhibiting the pretense of being in love with her instead of Harriet, and has to control her temper. He says that Emma is so scrupulous for others and yet so careless for herself when talking about Harriet's illness. Emma is enraged that he doesn't show a shred of compassion for Harriet. Hello, he never liked her. John Knightley comes in to announce that it is snowing hard. The party decides to leave, and in the haste of trying to get home, John Knightley gets into Mr. Woodhouse's carriage with his wife, leaving Emma to travel alone with Mr. Elton, who jumps at the opportunity to declare his love for her. When Emma brings up Harriet, he says, "Oh, Miss Woodhouse, who can think of Miss Smith when Miss Woodhouse is near?" Emma decisively rejects him. Flustered and frustrated, Mr. Elton claims that she gave him encouragement, but she vehemently denies that. They are both very angry and spend the rest of the ride pouting in silence. Emma is relieved when she finally gets home. In chapter 16 of Emma, alone at the end of the evening, Emma feels humiliated. But her worst pain of all is for Harriet, as she realizes that the effects of her blunders are not confined to herself. She begins to think back on the events of the imaginary courtship, which has totally backfired. She recognizes that she had not been able to look realistically at all the facts and admits to herself that both Knightley brothers have more insight into the situation than she does. She feels angry that the vicar would have the audacity to raise his eyes to her in his ambition to marry well. And she's provoked by the fact that he would consider himself her equal in connection of mind when he is so fine-tuned to the gradations of rank below him. Way to think of your friend Harriet, Emma. She claims he must know that in fortune and consequence, she was greatly his superior, that the Woodhouses have been settled for several generations in Hartfield, the younger branch of an ancient family, and that the Eltons were nobody. She calls Mr. Elton proud, assuming, conceited, very full of his own claims, and little concerned about the feelings of others. And this might be true of Mr. Elton, but it's also true of Emma. Yet at the same time, she can see how he was misled by her behavior. She feels remorse for raising Harriet's hopes and dreads having to explain to her friend what has happened.